1 in every 3 women experience some sort of violence, domestic or sexual. And also 38% of women are murdered by their intimate partners. This is a very sad, alarming figure. And as we have been seeing here in Nigeria, there's been a rise in cases of domestic violence among people who are married. We do have with us in the studio someone who has experienced this, who has survived this, who has come out of this, and now she's ready to tell her story, hoping that you will learn a thing or two from it. I'm speaking with Okoro Blessing Nkiruka. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
At what age were you when you wanted to get married?
I was about 18, 19.
Why did you want to marry that early?
The truth is that I didn't really understand what marriage was about. I just met an older guy and should I use the word brainwashed? He talked me into marriage and I just basically felt because he was the first man I ever loved. I'm like, okay, fine. What's the big deal? So I accepted.
And what were you doing? Were you in school?
I was in school then. I think I was in my 2nd to 3rd year then. So on that day of the wedding, I think his friends came around. I served them food after they had finished eating. Because I was tired from the makeup and everything, preparation, I went to sleep. So he came to wake me up to go pack up the plates. So even my friends, my chief bridesmaid was like, don't worry, Oga, let's pack it. He was like, no, she's my wife. She has to pack the plates. So he woke me up. I'm like, I don't want to pack the plates. I'm tired. Then basically he started beating me up. And everybody was like, what's this? They were holding him, he was beating me. And
had you been married? Had you said your vows at that point?
No, we have not said our vows at that point. It was the next day. I think I misplaced the wedding ring. I didn't know where I kept it. So he asked me for it. I asked my friend and he was like, oh, you didn't find the wedding ring? Then the next thing was a slap before we found the ring.
Did anybody know about this? Okay, now you said the day he beat you, people were there. What did the people say when you told them about, when they saw him beating you, did anybody not advise you?
Yes, all my friends came to me, they were like, are you sure you want to do this? But at that moment, it was too late to turn back. I just had to. Because after the beating, he came and apologized. Basically, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. And you know, we women now, once they apologize, you just go back.
How did you react when he beat you? Did you ever challenge him?
I didn't challenge him because then, like I said, I was very young. So most times I just, naturally, if somebody beats you, you can just, you know, why are you hitting me? You could just talk. Probably you could be a little bit aggressive. Like you're trying to walk away, the person drags you back and all that. But I didn't really challenge him because most times he beats me. He's like bigger than me. He's older than me. So when he beats...
What was the age difference between both of you?
He was about 12 years older than me. He was far older than me, though he had a smallish body. So he always sees me like a child. Sometimes he beats me up like a child. He pulls out his belt. You know, he didn't see me as a wife. He saw me as a child. Maybe like, you know, when you're grooming a little girl. So everything I did to him was like, he just beat me up like a child. You know, when you spank a child, you know, you just slap a child at every slight opportunity. So that was just basically what it was.
How long did your marriage to him last?
A year and a few months, let's say 6, 7 months.
Were there kids?
Yes, I have a son. I had a son with him.
At what point did you say, enough is enough, I can't take this anymore?
When my younger ones came around, he beat me up in their presence. That was when he beat me to coma. I was rushed to the hospital. The mother basically came to the hospital and still told me that, Nkiru, you have to wake up because I refused to go home. I was like, okay, I'm not going back. I'm going back to my parents' house. The doctor was begging me because they practically took me to their friend's doctor. So it was like a coded stuff. They didn't take me somewhere else. So he was begging me and asking me, okay, please go home. The mother came and told me, Nkiru, you have to get used to this. So Lucky will still beat you again because his father also beats me. So I basically just went back to coma because I was like, it was like a norm for them because he beats me in front of his parents. It's not as if they were not aware. And for once, it's just his father once in a while, he'll be like, why are you hitting her? But it was like a normal stuff for them. So it went on and on and on and on. So when I started growing up, so sometimes when he hits me, I could challenge him. I'm like, why are you beating me? I remember there was one time he tried to hit me and I picked up an iron and told him, if he does it again, I'm going to break his head. So he was like, oh, you're not getting aggressive. You're becoming a prostitute. You know, he probably felt, what's making her challenge me? Probably somebody is influencing. He started cutting all my friends away from me. He seized my phone for about 1 month. I don't pick calls and all because he felt somebody was influencing me, you know, and all that. So it went on. Basically, what actually made me take a walk was when I gave birth. And the maltreatment continued. In the hospital, they took away my child from me because when I gave birth through a cesarean section. So he took the child away from me and gave to his mom and said he doesn't want me to breastfeed the child. Why? he doesn't want me to transfer my spirit to the child. I'm like, seriously? So for about 3 days, I didn't see my son, as young as he was. They started
3
feeding him.
days?
Yeah, they were feeding him with formula, you know. And the doctor was like, don't feed this child with formula, because once the child starts taking formula, the child doesn't agree to suck breast milk again. But he refused. You know, we had battles. That was when I had to involve my mom. My mom came around and said, even if he's a mad person, you don't take away a person's child. So they kept doing it. So he basically packed my stuff, because we lived in a family compound. So he packed my stuff to his mom's room and said I should live with his mom. Who does that? Drove my mom away. My mom came for a mogo. He drove my mom away and said I should go live with his mom. And you know, those days, you just gave birth. You need to be happy. You need to have friends around you. And you're saying I should go and stay with my mother-in-law you know does not like me. So every time the woman wakes me up at night to come and carry the baby, someone that gave birth through CS, I'm like, this is punishment. When we had an argument, he still beats me up and all that. It was getting too much, and that day I told myself, I think it's time to leave. Because my school was pending. At that moment, I had nothing to do with my parents, because he was saying my mom was the one influencing. My mom is a witch.
So
and all that.
were you able to complete your education?
That was when I left him, after I had like an extra year, so I had to go back to school.
So you paused while you were married?
Yes, I paused while I was married, because I gave birth then and it was really serious. So basically, I made up my mind to walk away, because I just felt I can't do this anymore.
And how did you walk away? Did he fight you?
He did not fight me. I used to tell people then that when you want to walk, you don't make noise. You know, basically I had complained, I had brought pastors, I had spoken to different people, I had called friends. So at that moment, you sat down, I just made up my mind. And while I was working away, I didn't pack my stuff, so I didn't pack loads, because definitely when you're carrying your loads and dragging baggages, they'll start begging you, don't go, don't go, don't go. I walked, I just picked my handbag. I couldn't carry my son as of then, because I didn't even know where I was going to. So why punish the little boy of 8 months? And there was no way I would have carried my son out of the house without a luggage, because I had to carry his dress, and I didn't have money, I wasn't working. So, but I just needed to leave that, because psychologically I was being affected. Most times I can't even carry the boy because my hands are shaking, I'm sick. So it was telling on him. The boy doesn't eat, all he does is cry every day and all. I'm like, you know, it's not working. Basically, I just picked my bag. That day I didn't have a dime on me, but I told myself I just had to leave. It was a very, very hard decision. So I got to AKTC Park that day, you know, basically begged for transport fare from one of the passengers. So he paid my transport fare, and I went to my friend's place in New York. Then from there, I had to go back to my family to go and apologize to them. You know, they accepted me back. It took a while. Then after about 2 weeks, when I had settled with my family, I now went back for my son. So that was where the major battle started.
So when you went back for your son, how was the reception?
They refused. They refused. They're like, you abandoned him for prostitution and ran away. Why are you back? For 2 weeks. So I had to go to the child welfare. The child welfare invited him and told him, this baby's just 8 months. Give this woman her baby, said, over his dead body.
Where's your baby now?
He's still with him at the moment, but I've been giving custody, because we've been in court for 5 years, funny enough. We've been dragging because of the boy and all that. So when they asked him to give me this baby, he refused, and we had to go to court.
How have you channeled this message? A lot of people have been abused, and they have decided to reach out and impact other people like you're doing. In what ways have you decided to do this? Apart from speaking now, what ways have you decided to reach out to other people through your experience?
Okay, we created a social media platform. We also have a blog. We also have our councils, whereby, because from my experience, I noticed a lot of people do not have people to talk to. Sometimes you just want to unburden your heart. And when you talk to people you love or people that know you, they judge you. So talking to a stranger is going to be more neutral and tell you the truth. So people prefer to talk to people they do know. That's why they go to councils.
So what is the name of this blog that you established?
Okay, Break or Makeup. That's the name of the blog.
Break or Makeup.
Yes, on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yes. Then we have our Break or Makeup too on Facebook. So you get to send us your stories. We put it out there, and people just talk to you generally. Then we have our private counselors. We have our legal counselors. If you need help, you can talk to us. And if there's any way we can assist you, we do our best.
There are a lot of people watching now that have been abused in one way or the other, physically, emotionally. What would be your words to them?
I would say, if you're being abused, just walk away. Because it's better to be alive and tell the story than for you to be dead and people tell your story. Because when you're dead and they tell your story, don't tell the real story. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. So when you feel you cannot take it anymore, I believe you try first. Don't just walk. Because I believe when a man slaps you, doesn't mean you should just pack your bag. You try to talk to him, get people to talk to him. But if you see that he's not repentant, then you take a walk, because life has no duplicate.
And those are the words from Okoro Blessing Nkiruka. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate the fact that you're strong and your experience has helped you to be a better person than you were back then. Now, if you're watching and you'd like to follow us, please follow us on Twitter and Facebook at HNS Wazobia Max. And you can also follow her blog at break_or_makeup. And